How you doing, Aditya?
I'm doing well. How are you?
Good to meet you. East Coaster, eh?
East Coaster, yeah.
Nice. Um, yeah, my name is Max, as Matt put it. I'm an actor, and him and I have been working on a proof of concept for about a year now that we're going to shoot, which we're really excited about. So it's fun. I've been joining in on some of the writing meetings, writers and get it made, and hearing their different proofs of concepts once in a while. So I feel like I'm getting a good taste for these. So I'd be very happy to go through and work on yours with you here for a little while. So congratulations on winning. And why don't we just read through it? We can kind of like a brief like skim read, and then you can tell me your thoughts about it, how you came up with it, and give you some pointers as to what you could do going forward with it. Sound good?
Excellent. Thank you. Is
that all right?
Yeah, let's do it.
Okay, great. Okay, so I'll just read through it right now. So it's just called Thief, Aditya Mayya. Interior Millennium Savings Bank Branch 1, afternoon. Gina Dekaiser, 19, young and hungry, fidgets uncomfortably standing in a long line for a teller at a bank. She wears a black backpack, cell phone in hand. She glances down at her phone, closed phone, 12:23. Live security camera footage. Staring at the time on her phone, Gina taps at her foot impatiently. Interior Millennium Savings Bank Branch 2, same time. Ben, 32, big and bruising, walks in through the front doors, his phone also in hand. The branch is sparsely filled. Not many customers or employees around. Rare quiet period. He joins a short line with the next available teller. Friendly teller, 20s, clipped blonde hair, bright eyes, swipes over at Ben. I can help us next. Ben smiles, doesn't move, waiting. Close on phone, 12:24. Interior Millennium Branch 3, same time. You got Dario, 27, handsome, bug-eyed way. Hangs in the back of his bank, eyeing camera, security camera footage. Dario looks nervously at the lens. Interior Millennium Branch 4, same time. We have John, 24, strung out, walks into a branch. This is one pack. Customers of all shapes and sizes crowd around. Security camera, she looks around wildly, far from inconspicuous. We go to the security camera on Gina, and then close on 12:25 on the phone. And then the security camera goes dark, connection lost for Gina, then for Dario, then for John, then for Ben. We go back to bank 2, continuous. Ben confirms the time and nods, satisfied. He confidently walks over the teller. He slips his hand into his pockets. Teller, how may I help you today? Ben stares, saying nothing for a moment. Hi there, I have a gun in my pocket. Just stay calm and do exactly as I said, and no one gets hurt. The teller face blanches with fear. Don't hit any alarm. Just go over to your vault and grab as many 50s and 100s as you can. Okay? Teller's nod stiffly. Great. Remember, just stay calm. And we go back to bank 3 here, continuous. Everything will be all right. Don't worry about, this is Dario speaking now. Don't worry about getting a large enough envelope going to be in my bag here. His teller, 30s, tired, is less scared than Ben's. The teller opens the till and starts passing out stacks of bills. Dario smiles and nods. He takes the cash out and drops into his bag. More and more coming. He checks over his shoulder, reflexively. Phone, 12:27. Back to bank 1. Gina secures a strap on her backpack. I can help. Who's next? Says the teller. Gina looks over and smiles tightly. She walks over. Back to bank 4. John staggers toward 43, jaded, pushing through the crowd, including an agitated middle-aged man, 50, angry, self-righteous, type to yell at a grocery store clerk. Sounds like a male Karen. Middle-aged man, hey, buddy, watch it. Don gives a half-hearted wave. The man stares after him. Hello, can I help you today? John blinks rapidly and licks his excessively dry lips. Close phone. That's a good image. 12:29. I have a gun. Please do exactly what I say and no one's going to get hurt. The teller's eyes widen slightly, registering John's threat. Muted shock. Behind John, the middle-aged man steps closer, suspicious. Bill in the 50s and 100s. Don't worry about bags. I have one here. Teller nods. Malice flashing across his eyes. Back to bank 2. Dario gets his backpack, zips it up. Thanks for your help. Teller nods. Walks out. 12:30. Millennium Bank 1. Ben walks out of the bank, backpack flush, breaking into a jog as soon as he can cross the threshold of the entrance. A phone off screen buzzes. Millennium Saving Bank 4. It's John. Someone's calling. He ignores it. John slides a stack of cash into his backpack. He's fidgeting. Can't stand straight. Part of his backpack catches and he pulls it forcefully before it closes. The middle-aged man is now eyeing John's every move, breathing heavily. John throws on his bag, moving his shirt aside. Middle-aged man, the grip trigger of John's gun, barely revealed the bush of the shirt. Takes a sharp inhale. Oh, you bastard, under his breath, says the middle-aged man. John turns around, ready to leave. The man stands in front of him, unholstering his own small pistol. He points it at John. Everybody look out. He has a gun. Don't worry, I have one as well. Gasps and shrieks from everyone there. Tellers and customers both push their way out of the bank. All right, take it easy, fella. No need to, says the old middle-aged man. Bang! John looks down his gun. Surprise the noise, the loudest thing in the world. 2 more Shots go off. Who or what is this? Unclear. Middle-aged man falls to the ground. John kicks him aside and holds his gun up. He rushes to the crowd door, fear pushing him forward. A dark patch grows under John's shirt. So he's been shot too, I guess. Gina's car continues. Gina slips into her car with a bag of cash, close on phone, 12:32. She takes a moment and breaks down laughing. All the stress, all attention unfurled in this one moment. She did it. Her phone starts to buzz, breaking the moment of levity. Close phone, unknown number. She fumbles with it, sweatily putting it to her ear. Yeah, no, I don't know why he wouldn't answer. He should be out. The breath tightens, preparing herself the answer to the next question. So what now? Nice, man. Cool. Yeah, it flows pretty quick. It's obviously, you're getting to the point. It's not, you're not trying to add too large of a story. Obviously, it's a good tell for proof of concept. What gave you the idea? What's your idea if you develop this into something larger? Are you kind of planning to make a feature or a show? What's like kind of the pitch for it?
Yeah, so it's originally from a feature I wrote. Obviously, that's a heist movie, and what I wanted to do going in was like a heist movie, but kind of like a low budget heist, like even within the story of the film. Like, so often, like, we kind of see like the Ocean's 11 heists, like the the Inside Man, the whatevers, where they have all this this machinations going around. They're just so well connected, it seems. And I kind of wanted to tell a story of people who they wanted to rob a bank in this day and age, but they had no idea how. They didn't have like a huge network. They just wanted to do it. So telling like a lower class version of that story, if that makes any sense.
Okay. Yeah, no, I get that for sure. So it's meant to be obviously 5 different branches of the same bank. Is it meant to all be a city, like they're hitting them all the same day? Is that kind of the idea?
Yeah.
Okay. And the idea of that is that, if you hit them all at once, I guess it's more difficult it's easier to get away with because the cops will be responding too much at the same time. Yeah, I got it. Yeah, cool. I love heist movies. I love heist shows. This reminds me a bit of Place Beyond the Pines. That one's with Ryan Gosling and Bradley Cooper, where he robs the bank with a motorcycle, right? He drives the bike into the semi truck, and it's very kind of pared down. He just kind of jumps into the bank with a Uzi or something with his bike helmet on. And bank, heists are always exciting to watch. So I think that's always fun. It gets your kind of heart, ramped up. Like, oh, what's going to happen? Who's going to die? Or they're going to keep going. So a few things I would say. You've already written the feature, you're saying?
I have,
or
but
this is just a proof of concept.
Yeah, so I took the proof of concept from the feature,
right,
and edited a scene to get to tell a better story in the proof of concept medium. But the feature is what it is. And that's obviously also always changing as well.
Right. Because I don't want to say anything that if you have a whole story set out already, I don't want to smash it. But I think that's kind of maybe the key issue with this. Is that I can't see what the bigger story is, just apart from these 5. Is it 5? Sorry, or 4 heists?
4, yeah.
4. Sorry, 4 heists going on simultaneously. I don't know why they're doing it. So there's no motivation that I can see.
Right.
The characters are all kind of nondescript, as in that they could be interchangeable. I don't know what. There's a little bit of difference, obviously, like on Strung Out, Handsome Bug Out, but because there's no dialogue with them interacting with anybody, I don't know what's different about each one of them. They're kind of just there, which is interesting. But there could be little moments of, interacting with another person in line or a phone call. I don't know. For some reason, when I was reading it, I thought it'd be interesting if there was a voiceover going over all of this.
That's
one of the characters,
that's kind
or
of
maybe each one of them.
Yeah. So no, thank you for that's.
Yeah, I think it could be cool because you can convey so much info right away. It's what we did with our proof of concept that's set in the Greek underworld. So we've put in like a radio announcer right in the beginning to kind of give it some context so we can catch people up on what's happening. And I think it is a good as far as just getting information across. So I don't know if it would be one of the characters talking, or maybe it's after the fact. I don't know what happens in the story, but in my mind, it's okay. Say they're arrested, or they're talking to their kids about this heist they pulled off or something, and each one of them is describing a little bit of it, and maybe hinting as to why they had to do it. And that's a good way you can get a lot of info across as to the motive behind it all without having to go into lots of backstory or flashbacks or having them, too much exposition when they're obviously trying to have a bank heist, which would just get clunky. So I think that'd be good. Some like Minor notes, I suppose. I like how it, transitions from, he's saying one thing to the teller and it cuts and the other guy's saying the exact
Yeah.
same thing. I think you do that with Dario and Ben, right? I saw that right there. I like that. That transition is really fun. The difficult thing, obviously, just shooting it is we don't really need to have 4 locations when you do shoot it. You could just do it all kind of in the same spot and dress the set a bit.
Yeah.
Right. You could kind of get away. It's a bit tricky if you're meant to look like completely different banks, unless it's, because it might look like, are these just the same bank, different day? Is that what's happening? So, and understanding that they are communicating with one another, I think that's a bit vague right until the end as far as you're looking at the time.
Yeah.
But you don't have them actually have a call with each other until she speaks at the end, right?
Yeah.
When she puts the phone to her ear, but we're still not even quite sure who she's talking to. So I think some indications to how they're connected would be useful. Middle-aged man, I think it's fun. The little thing with that, I think you just give him a name. If he's speaking more than that, it's just easier.
In the future, I just was uncertain, like within this version of it, but yeah, good, yeah.
Yeah, and I think it's like 1 or 2 lines. So if it's a bit over that, just give him a name. So there's more context to it. Because if you were hiring the guy, you'd have that. I think also for him, I think you maybe it's a bit too expositional in the dialogue. Everybody look out! He has a gun. Don't worry, I have one as well. You can show that. You don't have to tell it. I don't think. I think he'll have the gun, and you might not even need to have a whole lot of dialogue himself. Like you can see he's that kind of guy who wants to be the good guy with the gun, right? And pull the revenge stunt. And so he goes for it. And that's interesting. So the guy gets shot and goes off. So yeah, I think what else did I have written down here? So yeah, character building is just give them a little bit of who they are more than just their look and their description is something they do. Maybe one of them has an interaction, like I said, with another person in the bank. Just little character things. I don't know a little bit about them. One of them, is one of them covered in tattoos? Does one of them not really speak English? Something different that just kind of makes them stand out the tiniest bit more, I think would be useful. So what is just for context, what is the greater heist story? What is their goal? Why are they all robbing this bank together? Is it just for money? Is there like a deeper motivation, or what's the purpose?
It's kind of spearheaded by the main character, Gina, the one that starts and ends it. And her kind of her kind of like mantra throughout the film is like, a career criminal at least has a career, And so it's like she's kind of been like beaten down and got like and has nothing in life. And so the way she tries to like restart that has been to kind of to try and start like a life in crime, Like if you've seen Heat with Robert De Niro and stuff, so like her goal is almost to like aspire to that level of career criminal, but like she's just a kid, so to speak, and so she ropes these guys in her plan by like blackmailing them or like convincing them or bribing them or whatever. So that's kind of, and like the infighting and kind of that's where it ends up is the issues within the group as well, beyond just running away from the cops or whatever. But yeah, so it's for me, it is about the character more than just the like plot of how it works. It's her specifically that really interested me in doing this. So you're right. I mean, like I did have an idea for like kind of an opening voiceover that kind of established who she was, at least so like the story was distinguished, from just like any other heist thing.
Yes, I think that's great. Establishing her as the lead of the team, we didn't get that from it, but I mean, it'd be easily shown in some way or described in the voiceover or whatever it is, or she's saying something like, "Okay, team, let's go," like whatever, some that's small enough that you can get away with it. She's shown she's the leader. Yeah, I think that's important. As far as I like that, what did you say that she's a criminal, but at least she has a career. It reminds me kind of this movie just came out on Prime. I think it's on Prime. It's called I Care a Lot with Rosamund Pike, where she plays a scam artist. Yeah. So she's scamming the elderly people to get their inheritance and lock them away in old folks' homes by calling them delusional, what have you. And there's a lot of good monologue in that as far as the movie's a bit of a hit and miss for me, but the beginning, I love the monologue at the beginning. She talks a lot about her motivation as to why. Like in America, you just have to make money no matter what. And I just want the money. And like, I didn't feel it was totally justified for her character in the film. But that kind of, I'm going to get mine. It's, you know, it's unfair. The system's rigged. And so I'm going to get mine. And it's that kind of, you know, little person against the world motivation. Maybe that's kind of what you're going for with the character. But I think hooking the audience into a motif that's more than just a robbery, I think will be interesting as to why she's doing it. This character is Gina. Why she wants to stand out. And it's kind of, I feel like as an Ocean's 11 kind of fun vibe to it. It doesn't seem like obviously there is a shooting at the end, but it doesn't seem super dark. It's not like I care a lot. She's a terrible person who screws over elderly people, so everyone hates her. But this is like you can kind of cheer for the little guy, even though she's a bit at the end. Yeah. So I mean, yeah, I think it's just adding context to that. And then we want to know, I think at the end, okay, the guy's shot, but are they all going to get away with it? Is she going to get away with it? Is there someone who's onto them? Was someone who saw their face? I mean, are they covering their faces? They're not, right? They're just going in there, revealing their identities.
The security camera.
Right, of course. Okay. So, okay. Yeah. You take away the security cameras. I mean, who does that? Who gets rid of the cameras? Do we need to know?
It's like, I guess that's just that's a question I'd have for you. Is like, do you think, at least in the proof of concept, like that's an answer that I should put in there, and like, you know, whether they get away, is that also like a thing that I should put in there or hint at? I guess. I mean, like, to what extent do you think I should be laying these answers to questions in?
Yeah, I mean that's it is a thing with proof of, because kind of the different ways I've seen them done. There's some that are very stylistic and it's not trying to reveal too much plot at all.
Right.
And then there's some that are kind of just extended scenes that they put in there as like the first chunk, whatever it is, or the first chunk of the series. And it's all very plot driven. They do that in American Sniper I was watching the other day, and they have the trailer for it. One of the extended trailers is just him like on the rooftop with the sniper and having the conversation with the guy next to him, and then the kid comes out with the you know, the grenade and all that. But it's like this whole scene played out. It isn't until the very end of the trailer that they have all these kind of other parts of the movie that kind of flash in and out. But it's that entire scene. So I think if you're going to do it, like, this is kind of a continuous scene, and it's not just kind of a sizzle reel or just a stylistic flashes of what the whole movie is going to be. It's basically the first like maybe 5 minutes of the movie, right? It could be.
Yeah.
But there might be, I think you might need to give away a little bit as to how they cut the feed. Is there somebody who's like the tech guy? You know what I mean? Yeah. Is there the guy behind the thing that they're talking to him, like cut feed or something now? I don't know that, or it's from the other side of you, like it's from the people. It's from the cop who's or something, and he's watching this all get cut or whatever. I don't know. I think there's something there as to how much you give away or not. It's a tricky question. I think both could play, but for me, I read it and I want to know. I worry, like, is it going to come off as lazy? It's like, oh, they just basically did that. Like when you're doing a heist thing, I think it's the best thing for the audience is how did they do it? How did they do it? How did they do it? So if you don't give that away at all, I think people can just assume like it can be a bit lazy. Oh, they just somehow cut the feed. It's like, right, well, how? What's they're in for that? And I think that's maybe something you're missing from the whole proof of concept, is that what is their kind of their gimmick? Like what's their how are they pulling this off, just instead of like they're just 5 criminals doing 5 banks at a time. Yeah, I think it's interesting. Like there can be plenty of motif there as well as to their motivations for it. But what is there? Like I'm thinking of Place Beyond the Pines. He drives the motorcycle into the semi truck, right? And then they drive from there, and so they hide it. There's just something. There's a little bit of cloak and dagger, and I think for this, it's a bit too straight. Of like they rob a bank, they leave. That's it. It's like I want to like watching it when we're so used to when we're watching heist stuff. We want to see pull a trick of some kind, like, you know, a Mission Impossible mask or whatever it is. It's something like that. That's a misdirection, I think. So I'm not sure what that is or what it could be for your proof, and maybe in the feature it's there. But I think if you play them all, if they're just really dumb criminals, they're just walking in there, they somehow cut the feed, they think they're going to get away with it. There's no one in the group has the intelligence really to have some kind of switch or twist to get away with it. I think we don't respect them as much, we're not really as much on their side. So I don't know what that would be, but that'd be my 2 cents on it. Yeah, man, but I think it's fun. I'm just thinking if there's anything else that's up for me here. Have you done a table read with anybody?
Like during the writing process, but not in a while. Yeah, like definitely not with Get It Made.
Yeah. Last thing I would say then, I think is that with the voiceover, and then even maybe with some chat or some banter they can have with each other through radio contact. You know what I mean? Okay. I think this, because it can establish a little bit of relationship, a little bit of hierarchy, like who's in charge.
Right. Yeah.
And it's that kind of like, if we screw this up, you have to go out to dinner with, like, shut up then. Something like that just establishes a little bit of how they know each other and what their vibe is together. Because right now, the audience has no investment into who these guys are and what their purpose is and what have you. I was watching Italian Job the other day, and that's like half the movie is them just bantering with each other and teasing each other and like, oh, handsome Rob, da da da, and then making fun of the other guy. That keeps us engaged more than just the heist, but it keeps like the humor, it keeps the lead there. So I think I would find a way to do that. Maybe that combined, if they do that in Italian. So I would watch movies and just see what they're doing that keeps you engaged and watching and isn't just a robbery, but keeps the entertainment of it there as well. So I think that's what I've got. I don't know if there's any questions you have for me.
No, that's that's all really helpful.
Having someone look at it.
It was just it was something that I was planning on doing, just because I have gotten similar advice in terms of like nailing down specific characters in the pages I have, and I mean this version of it I was definitely trying to make it he was keeping like production viability in mind, so like keeping it short and like the locations as ideally like one space that we could dress for different things and stuff. So I mean I'll want to like bring in other elements then as well, just to make the whole thing maybe more cohesive.
Yeah, it flows well. I think it's like you can tell like, oh, this is a writer who wrote this. Like it's the the narration, the character descriptions, all that. It feels very much like a script I would read auditioning for something. I think that's the thing is why you want to find, why would someone want to invest in this and make this? What makes this unique? You know what I mean? Is it the character description between them? Is it the greater motif of why they're doing it?
Yeah.
Is it are they going to pull off some Ocean's 11 kind of heist with the fake money and the, you know what I mean, the recorded video beforehand like they do in that? Like, what is it about it that makes it an intriguing heist movie that I might not have seen before that I want to see more of? Because right now it's a little generic as far as just kind of a couple people rob a bank, some shit goes off with a guy who pulls a gun. But we're not really invested in the characters or the plot because we don't know why they're doing it and we don't know who they are. So I think that's really the your starting point of how you could work on that. But I think you have a good eye for it. So I would keep at it, and I think you could put something together that you could shoot and then sell for the feature down the road.
Great, thank you.
Yeah. You're welcome. Well, good luck, and hope you get another draft going, and bring it to the writers' room or wherever you get people to table read it and see what they think, because these are difficult. I think the proof of concepts are difficult. Having worked on one for a while with Matt now, it's been difficult to combine so much info into such a small piece. And to keep the tone of it and show the humor and show the location and but not overdo it with too much exposition. Like, it's a fine balance. So I think we're on the right path. So I'll leave it at that then.
Yeah, thank you so much. Have a great day.
Thank you, Jay. Good to meet you. Good luck. All right.
Thank you.